All right, ride home review. Once again, it was super dark, so we're just gonna do this. Just made it home. Just finished watching the new Scream movie, Scream 2022. I guess Scream 5. I thought it was already 5 out, but this was the 5th one. And it is time for the Screams to go away. This one, they've all gotten progressively worse. The original Scream was one of the, hands down, one of the best horror movies of this generation, of the last generation. And then we've gotten just terrible sequels. We've gotten a lot of copycat movies. But this one just, every Scream movie tries to out meta the previous Scream movie by trying to out sequel, prequel, requel, whatever you want to call it. They just continue to try to up the ante, and it just doesn't work like the original Scream did. So hopefully they will just end it. I really did enjoy the Scream series, the MTV series. I thought it was just different. I mean, you got a bunch of beautiful teenagers killing each other, and it was just different. This movie was more of the same, with different characters doing the exact same thing the different characters in the previous movies did, and it just doesn't work anymore. If you're trying to outsmart the audience, you have to write smarter, and it's just hard to beat what they did originally, and they should just stop. Sidney Prescott is old as shit, and who knows how many more movies she'll survive. I hope this was the last one, and I just hope they would stop with the Scream movies. But this kind of ties into the podcast. I'm about to go in, record the podcast. We're going to talk about slasher movies, my favorite slasher movies, some slasher movies you should check out if you haven't already seen these movies. So yeah, ride home review. Didn't read any reviews on Scream, and of course, as the credits were rolling, I started looking at some reviews, and some of them are spot on. Some people said this was a smart, take on horror. No. It is what it is. It's a movie. It tries to be a lot funnier and smarter than it is, and it just ends up not being what the original was and what they're trying to catch, that lightning in a bottle, and you're just never going to catch. You're just never going to catch Scream 1 again. Like, it's just not going to happen unless you just make a completely different, intellectual property. But yeah, the Scream franchise, it should just go away unless they go supernatural, unless they bring, Ghostface becomes the ghost of Billy Loomis, then I'm with that. But if it constantly becomes you trying to figure out who is the gorgeous young teenager who's a killer, nah, that's just not where it's at, because it's become an M. Night Shyamalan movie where you're looking for the twist at the end, and the twist is never as good as The Sixth Sense. So that's where the Scream franchise is. It should be put away to pasture. They did this one for Wes Craven. He deserves all the love and adoration, but he also deserves to not have a terrible franchise, go on in his name when, he so, concluded it in his last movie. So let's just put Scream to bed. Dewey, Gail, Sydney, let's just let them ride off into the sunset or something. That's the ride home review. Check out the podcast. Check out last week's. Check out this week's. I won't spoil anything about the movie, but it's just not that good. Not worth your money.